Okay, we didn't even get up to that evening. Well, when Jay's dad came, and everything happened real quickly. Jay's dad came by the house with these two other gentlemen. Well, Jay was gonna pay the guys. Jay was gonna pay the guys. Was supposed to be giving them money to do whatever work he was gonna have them do. I don't fucking know. And the money, he had got $8,000 out of the 10,000 band. He left $2,000 sitting on the bed. He had told me he was finna, pay the guys. He finna holler his daddy for a minute. Okay. Now, I told my daughter. My daughter was 12 years old. 12 years old at the time. Jay went outside with his dad. All this happened real quickly because Jay wasn't even outside 20 good minutes. Well, I told my daughter, excuse me, someone's calling me through Messenger. I told my daughter to go get the mail out the mailbox. Well, my daughter went. Jay, his father, and the two other gentlemen, all four of them was sitting on the porch. My daughter went out there, got the mail. She came back in the house. When she came back in the house, I met her at the door, was getting ready to walk up the little stairway. Within that brief time, by the time we hit the front room, all I heard was doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And I just looked, and I immediately took off running to the side door. Well, by the time I made it to the side door, my son was already coming through the motherfucking door. He pushed me against the wall. I hit the wall. He swung over, and he said, "Mama, close the door." So I heard him close the door. When I'm locking the door. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And when I turned and looked, all I seen was my son standing there with holes all in his body. Of course, as a mother, I lost it. I'm screaming. I'm panicking. And the only thing my son said was, "Mama, just get me to the hospital." We both walked in my room. I'm trying to find my keys. I done emptied my whole purse on the floor. My daughter's in shock. She's standing there screaming to the top of her lungs. He never cried out. He never screamed. He never panicked. He said, "Mama, get me to the hospital." By this time, I hear a knock at the side door. So I peek around, and it was his dad at the door. Well, when all this happened, his dad had a chick with him. She was in the car. When the shots and everything rung out, she hid on the floor of the car. Well, his dad, the chick, the young lady, and the two other guys, I open the door, they come inside. Jay was leaning against the dresser, standing in my room still. He was like, "Y'all, get me to the hospital, y'all." I'm screaming because I can't find my keys. I'm like, "Y'all, we got to get him to the hospital." Well, Jay walked away from my dresser, and then by this time, he just kneeled. He took a knee on the floor. He was like, "Y'all, come on, get me to the hospital." And he just laid out on the floor. So, I'm screaming. And I'm going to say this. This is what the fuck y'all don't know. And y'all, people wonder why I went silent after my son's death. My son laid out on the floor. He's dead weight. I couldn't pick him up by myself. I'm screaming, "Please help me. Help me pick my baby up off this floor." I grabbed my son by the legs. His dad was standing there. His dad got shot in the leg. That was it. His dad was standing there. One of the guys made 2-3 of his dad. He's standing there. The other white man that was with him, he just pacing back and forth. They just stood there and looked at me without a care in the fucking world. Not one of all three of them fucking men helped me pick my boy up off that floor. The young lady that was there with his dad, she grabbed my son under his arms, and I grabbed him by his legs, and we toted my child out that fucking house. We toted him out the house. Not none of them. So that's why I screamed and I told every fucking body that would listen to me. No one would listen. I feel like it was a setup. Yes, I do. I do. I don't know what the fuck, how the fuck. One motherfucking shooter. One person. How the fuck would he knew, like, in a matter of 15 minutes to come to my house and do all this? Now, I can't say who did what, when, where, nothing. What I can say is that God don't sleep and he sees and knows all. And he says, vengeance is mine. And I know that anybody that had anything to do with this, and whatever happens, they will pay. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they will pay. We got my baby out that fucking house. We managed to get him on back of one of the dude's truck. By that time, I'm holding my son. He asked me, said, what car? He asked me what my daughter was. I hadn't already told my daughter to go in the bathroom, lock the door, hide. I don't know what's going on. Somebody going to try to come back. No, nothing. All this shit happens quickly. He asked me what my daughter was. He said he wanted some water. He was like, Kyra. I said, she in the house, baby. I said, just hang in there. Fight. Just hang in there. I'm holding my child. He still didn't cry out. He looked up at me. He said, Mama. He smiled. He said, Mama. He kissed me on my jaw, my left cheek. He said, Mama, I love you, but I'm not going to make it. Put yourself in my shoes. For anybody that is a parent out there, put yourself in my motherfucking shoes. How would you feel? You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is not some shit that I normally do, because I ain't got no business. It's gonna be 3 years. I ain't got no business on here crying and doing all this on social media. But hey, I'm gonna get the shit off my chest, and y'all will never hear from me again about it. Like, it's done. You know? He is gone. Y'all, he's gone. Let him rest. The ambulance and the police made it there real quickly. They screamed and was telling me to get out the way so they can work on him. I didn't want to let him go. So I had to move. They got him, and when they put him on the stretcher, the words that came out of his mouth, he looked up at the big guy. He said, man, you set me up. Dude went hollering, no, no, no. Well, they got him in the ambulance and stuff. I don't even know how the fuck I ended up on the ground. I don't even fucking know. It's just a lot was going on. My oldest son made it there. He came grab me. He was like, with my brother. I said they got him in the ambulance. He walked me over to the ambulance. Opened the door. Jay was sitting there, just calm. He was just propped up, just sitting there chilling. So y'all said, you all right, nigga? You all right? And the last words, the very last words that I heard come out of my son's mouth was, I'm not going to make it. That was it. Well, we went to the hospital. Of course, there was 1 million people at the hospital. They locked the hospital down. They wouldn't let nobody in there. I'm in the hospital. They wouldn't even let me in the back with him. Thank God Cody's mom was there, one of the ER nurses that day. She came in there, came out in the waiting area. She was like, Tish, your baby's okay. Your baby's okay. He's talking, you know. He wanted to FaceTime you and his baby, but she said, I don't have my phone on me. My biggest thing was I was upset because the whole time, my baby, I felt like he might have even felt like he was in that hospital alone, and I was there, but they wouldn't let me in there. Jay lived about 7 hours after that. They had to take him into surgery. Jay had many shots. He had many shots. Well, the biggest things was the shots to his abdomen area. He had damage to his lungs, to his liver, to his intestines, and they had to get that under control. Well, he made it through surgery. I'm in the but in the waiting area. The surgeon came in to talk to me and let me know about the damage. He said, well, we got that taken care of. He said, but it's the loss of blood. He said, we're giving him blood, but he is oozing, his exact words. He's oozing from everywhere. He said, so, but we got him out of surgery and everything. He said, we getting ready to transfer him up to ICU. We just got to pray that he make it through the night. So I'm like, okay. Well, in the midst of waiting, I don't know who the fuck news people and posted that my son was dead. I hadn't even been notified, They came back in there and told me my son was gone. He coded. His blood pressure dropped too low and they couldn't get it back up, and he coded. Now, y'all been wanting to know what happened so badly. So many lies about what happened that day and this, that is sickening.